Alright, so we're live. Why does this software never work for me? Um, anyway, guys, what's going on? This is a little sinister here. My throat's scratchy as hell right now. Um, so yeah. Um, sorry, I'm turning down my volume on my phone quick. Anyway, guys, what's going on? This is a little sinister here. My throat's Anyway, I'm watching it on my phone as I go along with this. I'm trying to. God damn you. Okay, let's see. I'm having so many issues with OBS. Remove game capture quick. Okay, add game capture. Any full screen application. There has to be a better way to do this. Remove, yes. Image, media source, scene, text, video capture, device. Display, killer, browser, audio output, audio input, video capture, window capture. Nope, that doesn't work. Cancel. No, I don't want to be displaying that. Okay. Every fucking time. Okay, cool. I got it working. Alright. Cool. Okay, there we go. Anyway, guys. Okay, so now since I got this all sorted out, I'm trying to get used to using OBS again for live streaming. I haven't been using it much lately, so sorry about that. So, anyway, back to everything. What's going on, you guys? This is a little sinister, and I'm bringing you some Pirates Online Retribution, plus talk about my life and life stories. And let me tell you, I got a bunch of them. So, anyway, you guys, I'm sorry for how the uploads have been and everything else like that. I've been dealing with a lot of stuff in life right now. Coming down to the point of graduation and everything else like that. I was starting to do a video, but then it started to actually get to the point of like 35 minutes, stuff like that. And I was starting not to like how I do it. I have to remember not to mention names and stuff on YouTube because of privacy and everything else like that. So anyway, but now since we're on the topic of school, so the first story I'm going to tell you guys is the history of my Votech school administrator. And let me tell you, this one is a good one. So, I met this guy back in ninth grade, back whenever I was a freshman in high school. Back in, the days where most people just did not give a rat's ass. It was the time, you end up going around with your friends. You just you all just like dick around. You guys have fun. And that's exactly what I did. You know, a couple of my friends were in my class with me. You know, I was just like, oh yeah, I got some buddies in here, and you know, let's have fun. So, this guy comes in. You know, he's talking about the Votech school, and I'm not going to give the actual name of it because just in case of any privacy reasons and shit. So I'm going to call it just Votech throughout this thing. So, okay, so I'm going through Votech and everything like that, or he's going through program things. And I'm actually fairly interested, and, you know, I'm actually sitting there, actually being attentive, and he was talking about, you know, different trades and everything like that. And there was a while where I'm just like, I don't really care, you know, whatever. And it's just like, all right, get on to it. I mean, if I see something I'm interested in, I'll do, or something that I don't, you know, just something I wouldn't be, that would be like, you know, willing to learn, you know, something that I'd love to actually learn. So he's going on telling about, you know, why you should join this, you know, join this place, you know, everything like that. Then he goes on to the programs. So I'm like, okay, finally you get to the programs. Now, damn it, I've been waiting on this for I don't know how long, and this gravedigger won't die. There we go. But at this point, okay, so he's talking about, you know, cosmetology, you know, food, you know, culinary arts, you know, the typical trade school type stuff. And it's just like building trades, you know, automotive, collision repair, precision machining. And it's just like, okay, for one, I pretty much live on a farm. I'm like, so pretty much everything you're giving me right now is, you know, stuff like that. I said, what I'm really interested in is computers. And I'm just like thinking that in my back of my head. And, you know, he probably saw my, you probably could tell that I was kind of starting to get, you know, out of his presentation. But the program areas he was describing, got onto the electrical thing. And it's just like, you know, I was just like, okay, my original thought was I wasn't planning on making anything that I was doing a career. I just wanted something to actually learn. And I was just like, he ended up going on to the electrical thing, and I was just like, you know, I was like, I'm going to learn, you know, I've been learning how to weld. I've been learning automotive and motors and stuff like that. And, you know, just, I was thinking about stuff like that, and it's just like, you know, actually, I think my opportunity to actually really learn something and, you know, learn something, you know, that I'm probably not going to learn that much about at home is the electrical stuff. So I did just that. I signed up for the electrical program and I got accepted. So at this point, you know, everything's looking good. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, cool. So I'm going to join the electrical program. So I end up getting in, and the first day I was in, you know, I was like, hey, I remember you. You remember me? He's like, yes, I do. You were sitting in the one class. I'm like, yeah. And then, you know, we were talking, you know, we're actually having a good conversation there for a bit. And it was actually pretty cool. I mean, it was, it was, me and him talking and everything like that. It was cool, you know, it's cool to actually go in, you know, actually talk to somebody, you know, like that. You know, we had the orientation where he was, you know, telling the parents about what we do, you know, stuff like that. And it was just one of those things where I'm bored out of my damn mind. And I just, you know, at that point, I was just like sitting there thinking, I'm just like, God, I could really go for a fucking smoke right now, you know, at my sophomore year. So, and I'm just sitting there like, okay, keep going. Now, when do we get to the part where, you know, what the fuck, you know, where I go meet my damn teacher and you shut up? I mean, that was my thought process back then. I mean, give me credit. I was 15. Or, well, yeah, 15 at that time. So we go meet my teacher and everything like that. And in this story, I'm gonna call him Lightning, and there's reasons to that I'm not gonna go into. But anyway, we meet Lightning, and you know he's a straight to earth guy. He's cool. I automatically liked him. You know, he wasn't one of those guys who would end up sitting there bullshitting you, sugarcoating stupid bullshit. He actually was down to earth with you, and he would tell you how he saw it. He did not care. And that's what I liked about him. Um, but anyway, so we start talking, and we're all like talking. We're all in the class together. At this point, the electrical class that I was in, there was 21 students. So I'm in there, I'm just like, hey, yeah, cool, all right. There's 20 other people, and I fucking look over, and I saw my fucking my best friend throughout my entire like high school years was sitting there, across the room from me, and I was like, I looked over at him, and I was just like, motherfucker, I said, you're in my class. He's like, yep. I'm like, well, fuck, we're fucked. That's exactly what I said to him. Because, I mean, we were those types of friends where we just, oh my God, you give us a chance and we'll fucking tear shit up. Like, that's how we were. We still are. But, we were in the same class together. It was just like, oh God. I was just like, I came into this thing to actually learn how to do electrical stuff, not learn how to break into a fucking car. No, that wasn't my thought, but I was just, you know what I mean? It was one of those things where it was just like, this cannot get any better. I'm in Votech with one of my close buddies. And it was just one of those things where it's just like, fuck yeah. I'm like, it's just like, this is awesome. So, at this point, he's like, he's taking us around the shop. Me and Rick are talking. And, I'm calling him Rick because, I can't say his actual name. And, what do you call it? So me and Rick are talking this entire time. The teacher's talking. And, we're just catching up over summer, what the hell has been going on. And, it's just like I found out his girlfriend at the time dumped him. And it's just like, during the summer, I was like, ah, shit, dude, I'm sorry. The typical, me and him talking. And, we're catching up, everything over the summer. We were talking about, what we were doing over the summer. Me, I was in Maryland for a little bit with my dad working. And, we were just going on talking about everything. Now, this is all just a background of, everything in Votech. We were quite the friends. We were really close. So close, my girlfriend at the time, she used to say that we were fucking gay lovers and shit, and it was just like, really? Why the fuck do you have to say that to us? Like, it was just like one of those things, like, it's just like we would laugh at that. But, anyway, so we're in Votech together. Let the hell raise and commit. But that's the thing, like, we didn't really raise hell at Votech, like, we did that at the homeschool. At the end of the day, while we were waiting on our bus, and on our bus, we were just like, ah. So, I'm in Votech, a lot of shit was going on, a lot of shit, it was cool. I'm in Votech, yeah. I'm with my buddy. This is just like, this is too fucking good. Well, anyway, so, a couple months go by, in Votech, and it's just like, it's same stuff, different day. We're learning different things on theory, learning how to crimp wire, shit like that, somebody with, like, no knowledge of the trade would actually start doing, which is, like, crimping wire, learning how to do a wire nut, learning how to do Buchanan crimps, learning how to use the tools, learning the name of the tools, stuff like that. And it's just like, there was a couple tools that I didn't even know of at the time or knew what they were called. I mean, I've seen them, but I never really knew what they were called or anything like that. But, like the typical, like, needle nose, or what they call them is long nose, or, straight edge screwdriver, what I call flathead, a Phillips screwdriver, stuff like that, vice grips, channel locks, just stuff like that. I knew what that was by that time. I've done a lot. By that time I was just like, okay, so I've done a lot of stuff with vehicles. I've done a lot of outside work. I've done a lot of building and actually carpentry and stuff like that. So I knew what a lot of these tools were. And there would be like you can't expect everyone in that class to know the basic knowledge of tools and stuff like that. That's a given. Not everyone would know that. So, we're going over that. We're learning how to crimp wire, splice, or not splice, but, like crimp wires, what do you call it? Wire nut wires. And just learn how to use the tools and stuff like that, and learn, what supplies we use and everything like that. And just learn, you learn a basic theory of electrical work. So, at this point, I chew, and I chew now. I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't chew. So, there was a time where you know what I mean, I chewed at tech a little bit, at times. It all depended. I didn't do it much at all, and I don't even do it now. I did it like a couple times, and that was it at Fed Tech, and that was the end of it. But what do you call it? So I got called down to the office one day because some kid snitched me out for chewing. Well, I didn't have a chew in or anything, so I was just like, all right, what the fuck ever. I'm like, I'm going down to the office, big fucking deal. By this point, I'm just like, well, now they get to actually fucking know me, and now most likely I'm in trouble. I'm just like, because knowing how I was back then, I was the person who really just did not give two shits. I really didn't. So, I'm down to the office. I meet the administrator. It's just like the same administrator that did the presentation, everything else like that. Administrator, that's who I'm talking about. So he calls me in. He's like, so I got a report that you are chewing in school. And I'm like, and I'm doing my typical thing, like, no officer. I haven't, no officer. I wasn't drinking tonight, shit like that. My typical, smile and just like, yeah, fuck you. I'm doing it, but I'm not going to tell you. You fucking know that. Just stuff like that. And so I'm just like, yeah, I'm not chewing, man. I'm just like, I don't know who said that, but it's just, I'm in here to do my work and, just give him the typical bullshit speech, just like all that stuff. So, at this time, he was like, all right, well, he's like, all right, well, let me just let you know this, let me let you know if I ever catch you chewing in this school, then you're probably not going to be welcome back. And I'm just like, yeah, I understand. And that's not the case at all. In like my school district and everything else like that, what they end up doing, if you get caught with chew, they end up sending you a fucking fine. And you have to pay a fine for chewing in school. It's stupid, but you do it, I guess. So, at this point, yeah, okay, so, alright, somebody snitched on me, whatever, fuck it, I don't really give a flying fuck. And, because of that, I was just like, alright, I'm done chewing in school because of this. And I never did it again. Still today, I don't dip in school. Just because of that reason. So, weeks go by, everything like that. And I get searched finally for my first time in the academy. And it's just like, all right, whatever. I'm not carrying anything. It's not like I'm doing anything. I'm not concerned. I was just completely cool about it. It's just like, what the fuck ever. Search me, bitch. Get it over with. That typical, cocky shit. And game crashes. Fuck. So, okay, I'm not doing that again. So I get searched again, and it's just like, all right, we got another report that you are chewing in school. Can you please empty your pockets, empty your bag for us so we can search the contents? Typical, Give me your shit, and, you know, let's see what's going on from there. And I'm sitting there like, all right, whatever, go through it. I pull up my pant legs, you know, typical getting searched, you know, everything like that. You know, let him pat my legs and shit, you know, open my boots, shake my boot, you know, take off my socks and turn them inside out. So, I mean, I had one perk every time they searched me. My feet stink. My feet smell like a skunk that's been roadkill for a week, that has been pissed on by another skunk for a straight week. So I had that. So every time I took my socks off, I mean, he practically wanted to wear I guarantee he wanted to wear a CDC chemical mask and all that bullshit, which would have been funny. That would have been fun. That would have just been funny to be, or it was just like, to me, that was rewarding every time I got searched. Like, yeah, bitch, you gotta look through all my shit and waste your damn time because you're not gonna find a fucking thing. So, yeah, it's just like, it was stupid. I mean, I'm not gonna say it wasn't, but I would always get snitched out for stupid shit at school because people wanted to start trouble and everything like that. So, I mean, I personally just did not give a shit, but anyway, so he goes around, you know, he does this shit. He was searching me then here and there for pretty much like since like this past couple years, and I just was just like, smile, wave, middle finger behind his back, you know, typical thing. Um, so at this point, it's just like, yeah, all right, whatever. So he's never found anything on me. Like, he's never found any chew or anything like that on me. And it's always been stuff like that. And I don't know what the hell his deal was where he'd pick on me and shit like that, but it's just like I guess he had nothing better to do than to fuck with me. But, and at one time it started to become so repetitive, I was just like, he's so full of shit. And, you know, just stuff like that, where there's no way somebody's been stitching me out so much right now. I said, you're just trying to fucking take me out of class and shit, so that way you can fucking mess with me. You know, just stuff like that. That's what was going on in my mind and shit like that. And it's just like, yeah, fuck you. So, anyway, you know, a couple years goes by, you know, this repetitive bullshit cycle. And so I come in and I'm just like, all right. So I'm in my senior year. I mentioned to him that I was trying to go into co-op and I wanted to actually work in the field, because on my third VOTech year, I was able to do that. I had the opportunity to if I could find a job. Issue is, one kid got the co-op, but that was because he was 18. They don't tell you that kind of stuff whenever you go in. Like, he didn't mention anything like that in the presentation. Like, yeah, you have the opportunity to intern and co-op. I wanted to co-op because I figured, okay, I can get established, find a job, and do stuff like that, and maybe work in my electrical field during, you know, while I'm still in school. So I thought that was something cool. And I couldn't find anything. I mean, nothing really was hiring for my age. I mean, anything that was, they didn't really want me anyway, or because they already had too many people and shit. And I've submitted applications for so many places that it was kind of getting old to deal with. So he calls me into the office one day because I come in late, and it's just like, oh, fuck. I just came in, like, and I'm not even in here for 2 minutes, and he's calling me into the office. Fuck, now what did I do this time? Because I mean, that's what I always think, and I just, like, every time I get called to the office, I think about what I've been doing for the past 2 weeks. And typically, I'm not doing anything. At least that they would know about. And with that being said, I mean, but this whole year, I've been, like, completely clean with, doing shit. Like, I haven't been, beating around the bush on shit and, just Eddie Haskelling everything, as my mother calls it. Which I don't even get what the fuck she's saying, but whatever. But, anyway. Um, oh, shit. Outcast glitched. Anyway. um, so by this point, I get good. By this point, I'm good at smiling and waving. I mean, I've gotten good at that, I guess, if you want to consider it that. But, and I fall through the world again, okay. But, anyway. So yeah, I mean, I'm just like, all right. So he starts talking to me. He's like, so you're interested in co-oping. I knew that. He's like, um, he said, so I can end up getting you co-op, throughout the high school. You do your normal high school classes, and yeah, you do your normal high school classes, and then you do co-op, through really anything, that you can actually get. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, so what's in it? So what do you mean? So we go into a conversation about it, and he's pretty much after him telling me about it, he said, so I could get you hooked up with the high school co-op program because of you being an alpha. You could be working, a normal like 8-hour shift, normal 8-hour shift, blah blah blah, through Career Link, as or as what the thing or for what actually does it, and he said you could be doing that and everything like that, but you would be having to drop your Votech program. And maybe I just took it as this, but he pretty much told me that I would drop. I took it as him pretty much telling me to drop out of my Votech program. And I was sitting there, I'm just like, well, hey, thanks for the info, but I mean, I'm not dropping out of my Votech program because of some sort of co-op. Of some sort of co-op opportunity that I would probably not end up, something I may not actually get. I said, thanks, but no thanks. Just typical stuff like that. Well, right there, I mean, I took that as him encouraging me to drop out of Votech, which a fucking school administrator should not be doing. So, I ended up, whenever I came home that night right away, I told my mother about that. And she called in and bitched. Like, she was pissed. Everyone was pissed that I knew. And he actually got into shit about that, so he ended up coming into a fucking warpath on me, then this whole entire year. And until I actually got to school to look into the shit. Anyway, within all this, by this point, he's searching me every fucking week. For chew, for drugs, whatever he could find. And it's just like, because of my reputation at that point, I was through rehab and I had a crash where it was, alcohol related. So he was holding that against me as well. And I'm just like, all right, bud. I'm like, all right, smile and wave, typical bullshit. You're not going to find anything, so fuck off. Just typical thoughts like that. But, with how I was looking at him and how I was presenting myself, I was in that, like, smile and wave, like, in that state to where I was so used to doing by that point because of how many people I had to fucking deceive that were high up like that. And, deceived to what I was actually doing at the time. And that's due to addictive thinking and all that bullshit. And at that point, I was so used to it that I really did not really think about it. Smile and wave, I know you think you know what you do, but you don't, and I'm not going to admit that I do shit. Typical criminal thinking like that, which is, at that time, I didn't really, back whenever I was younger, back whenever I was actually into that shit, and even after for a while, I really did not have I had the resources after everything went to shit. But before that, I didn't really realize a lot of my thinking was a problem. So I got on track with a lot of that over the years. But anyway, um, so we're going through all that process and all that process or all that bullshit, and it's just like, all right, buddy, are you done now? You know, so we're doing that, and he's doing that at least once every week, searching me and all this bullshit. So it's just like, you know, at this point, you know, everything I've been doing at that point was clean. I wasn't doing anything wrong, as far as like illegal activity or anything like that. I wasn't, I wasn't really doing anything wrong in school that I was, you know, actually getting in trouble for. Like you know, like I was a typical teenage or high school student. You know, I curse and swear. You know, just typical bullshit like that. And you know, I'd hang around my buddies and we'd do stupid shit, but we wouldn't get caught. Stuff like that, or stuff like, you know, my one buddy. You know, I'm gonna say, you know, Rick, as you know, you guys heard in the past. Him, I ended up us taking a fucking tack on his chair, and he sat on it. Just typical shit like that. Oh my god, I remember that to this day. I ended up, so what I ended up doing is I ended up, texting him after he sat down. I'm like, hey, did you like the little present little present I gave you? He was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, thanks. I now have a new asshole. His legit words. And I started dying in class looking at my phone. So I got my phone taken that day. But yeah, like typical stuff like that. Like that was all that was really on my track record. I never got caught in school for any like dealing of drugs or stupid bullshit that I was doing at the time. Cause I made sure I didn't shit where I ate. That was a prime thing that I did. I made sure that I did not like actually, you know, for example, shit where I ate. If you want to consider it that. Sorry, I'm trying to do everything. But anyway, getting on to the rest of this. So the school administrator, he ends up searching me this last time. And this is where it really got creepy and really disturbing to me anyway. He searched me. He didn't find anything. And at this point, he's been harassing me for a while. And it's just like, all right, whatever, dude. I'm like, you know, have your fun. Whatever. I don't give a damn. So after he searched me and I put everything back in my pockets and he said I'm free to go, he goes on, he's like, yeah, you're free to go. I'm not going to make you take your pants off this time. And I just looked at him. I was like, what did he fucking say? And I'm just like, what did you say to me? What? Thinking that in my head. I'm like in fucking shock. And I'm like, oh my fucking god, did he really just say that? And I'm in pure fucking shock at this point, and I'm like, okay, I need to get out of this for today. I texted my mother real quick, and I said, pick me up now. And I left for today. I wasn't dealing with that. But he called my PO that night, or that day. He said, hey, can you come in and strip search Zach for me? And that's legitimately pretty much what he did to he called my PO and asked her if she would send somebody in and strip search me at school. Yeah. But, the funny thing is, my PO, whenever she heard him ask that, she literally told him to go fuck himself. She said she has more fish to fry than going in and strip searching a kid. And now POR will not load. God damn it. I can't get the game to boot up again. What the fuck? But, anyway, so we're going on about this, you know, all this shit. And I called my mom. I told her, I said, listen, come pick me up now. I said, something's really going on right now. And I needed to get out of there because I was in a middle, because I have anxiety and I have, issues like that. And after he said that kind of shit, it just threw me into like a panic attack. And um, after everything like that was going on, and it's just like, I was just like, okay. Got home, told my mom what was going on at this point. I said, listen, school administrator just said, he's really did something this time. And my mom's like, oh, fuck, what did he do this time? I said, and I told her, I was like, Mom, he's fucking searched me this time. And after he said it, after he searched me and everything, I'm like, he literally just said, he was like, all right, I'm not going to make you take your pants off this time. And by this point, this motherfucker has been following me into the bathroom and all this other shit. And it's just like he was doing the typical like creeper bullshit. And it was just like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Alright, I'm going to go on Plant Tycoon for a bit. I think the servers are down. So this is the game I played from my childhood. Ear rape. This is a game I really played in my childhood and everything like that. And it was something I enjoyed. I'm going to check the stream quick. But anyway, so we're going on over everything like this. And it's just like, yeah, I don't think it's showing up on the OBS, is it? No, it is not. But anyway, at this point, he's been following me into the bathroom so much, all this other shit, because I go into the bathroom after lunch. I was always going into the bathroom after lunch, just sitting in a stall, because I did not want to deal with people. I did not like anyone, in there. And that's pure honesty. I really did not like anyone, at school at that point. I was just like, I just want to eat my lunch, go into the bathroom, relax, take a chill pill before I go into my classroom and do work for today. That was my attitude, or that was my thought process on everything. So, due to everything like this, I was just like, all right, cool, whatever. But he was following me into the bathroom, everything like that, telling me, like, because I'm in a stall, like, hey, pinch it off, come on, get back to lunch. But it was getting creeper-like. It was really starting to creep me the fuck out. And, because of everything like that, at that point, I was really starting to get freaked out over everything. I was missing a lot of OTEC because of everything that he was doing. And it was just creeping me the fuck out. I mean, it was really just weird. And because of that, I was just like, all right, I'm not dealing with this. And, so yeah, that's really what was going on. And, because of that, I was really missing tech. My VOTech grade took a really big hit due to everything like that. I was, like, creeped the fuck out because of everything. And it was really, it was actually really creeping me out. And, I just kind of gave up on everything for a bit. Sorry, I'm concentrating on this game quick. But, so yeah, I'm going through all this shit, and it's just like, alright. So, then he searches my locker, a couple days later, and I was just like, okay, you searched my locker, big fucking deal. You searched pretty much every fucking thing that I end up having, so why not search my fucking locker? Have fun. You're not gonna find anything in there anyway. And I don't, now here's a little bit of backstory on this part. So, for the past 2 years, we had a VOTech teacher, and he would issue us tools at the beginning of the year that we'd end up using. We'd sign them out, and we'd give them back at the end of the year. Due to that, he got Do I have a hospital? Yeah, I do. Okay. But, anyway. Um, so, fuck, what was I saying? Um, at this point, he searched my locker, and, oh, yeah, backstory on this and everything, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so, backstory, we had a teacher, we'd end up getting issued tools, we'd sign them out, we'd give them back at the end of the year. Typical stuff like that. It was not like I was, like, plotting, steal the tools. Oh, I'm going to steal a pair of dikes, I'm going to steal a pair of linemen's, a screwdriver. Shit that I have like 10 or 12 of the fucking things at home. You know what I mean? Just stuff like that. It's just like, why the fuck would I want to steal your dumb shit anyway? So, anyway, so we're going into that. And it's just like, alright, whatever. So, but anyway, he ended up, but anyway, we were issued D's. Well, we got a new teacher because our teacher, Lightning, he had cancer and he was actually out of commission. He actually had to retire, and because of it, and he was out, and he was getting his vacation and everything. Like, he had like 3 years of vacation stored up because he never missed a day of work. He really never did. And he had to get heart surgery and had cancer and stuff like that, and he actually had to go through all that. So we had a sub for like the rest of the half of our second year, and then we had a new guy on our third year. Well, Lightning was going through all this, and we had a new guy. Well, so I did the same thing as what we'd normally do. I kept up the same cycle, all of that, because it was just like, that's what Lightning would want us to do. He'd want us to keep on keeping on, even if he wasn't there. So that's what we did. We kept on going. We kept on doing our thing. Stuff like that. So, yeah, it wasn't anything really different. I mean, it was the same stuff that we were doing all the time. And because of that, I mean, I never really worried too much about everything. I ended up telling the teacher, like, hey, I have these several tools. I said I'm putting them in my locker so that way we end up having this stuff. That way we actually have, the tools and everything else like that. And that way I actually have them, so I don't have to look through the tool room and try to find everything. Going for something that may not even be there at some point. And he goes, all right, yeah, no problem. So it wasn't the teacher who did this. It was actually the school administrator who actually blew smoke up my ass over all this. But anyway, so the school administrator goes search my locker, finds the tools. I had a pair of linemen's, a pair of wire strippers, a pair of dikes, straight edge, and a Phillips screwdriver. And what was the other one? Linemen's, needle nose, diagonal pliers, wire stripper. Yeah, I forgot the needle nose. So I had a set of 6 tools. The minimum of what I was gonna need. And if I needed anything else, I'd go into the tool room for like the channel locks or something like that, if I needed them. So, anyway, so all this shit's going on, and it's just like, he searched my locker, he calls me into the office, and I remember this day. We were all in there. We were working on painting the wall and everything because we just tore down a shed that was in our shop room, or a closet or whatever that was in our shop room, or in our shop, that we didn't need. So we tore it out. So I ended up, I was part of the demolition crew, and the thing is with me, like, I like breaking shit. So, due to that, I mean, I was that person who liked that. I was breaking shit, and I didn't care. So, yeah. So I was the one who was like, actually doing a lot of the construction and shit like that, and I was working on like demolishing, and I was doing the painting because I had a background in carpentry. I did a lot of that stuff growing up, so it wasn't anything that I was really too concerned about doing. I can paint, I can paint a wall and stuff like that. I've done work in my own house where my, with my mom or with my mom's boyfriend and everything like that. So, I did the stuff, working on my, building my own room. I built like my own room and everything like that. I built my own bed. I built like half of my shit. Right now, I'm working on my like basic apartment, I guess is what you could call it, in the basement. I'm doing like studs, 16-inch centers, the wiring, all that shit. That's what I'm doing. And so anyway, I was kind of like the project manager, I guess you could call it, doing it. I was one of the people working on it. I was one of the few people working on it while the other kids were working on their own thing. So I'm going through doing this, and it's just like, all right, cool. So I'm finally getting my hands dirty and actually getting dirty on doing something. Finally. So it's cool. All right, whatever. The administrator comes in. He's like, can I see Zach for a few? I was just like, motherfucker, are you really going to come in here at 2 o'clock and search me while I'm in the middle of fucking working? I'm like, are you fucking serious? So, we're going on about this, and it's just like, all right, whatever. All right, I'm going to deal with this, whatever. Do it. Do whatever you're going to do. I don't give a fuck. So he comes in, and he tells me, he's like, sit down. I'm like, at this point, I was thinking, oh, fuck me. I'm like, all right. Well, fuck. Guess what? Now I was just thinking like, oh shit. Now I'm in deep shit. At this point, I'm like, I'm in deep shit at this point. If he's telling me to sit down, I've definitely fucked up somewhere. And so I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, what all have I done in the past week? What all have I been doing? Just sitting here thinking like, okay, I didn't do anything. I'm good. I'm actually, I shouldn't be in trouble for anything. Because I always would do this shit because I was just like, okay. Alright, fuck. Where did I fuck up this time? That's exactly where I would be every time I got called into an off or to the office and shit. So, anyway, so I'm going into this and I'm just like, all right, well, something's going on. I don't know what. So he calls me in and he's starting to talk to me and everything, and I'm just like, all right, whatever. What's going on? So, we're talking. He's like, all right, so, okay, I'm just looking over stuff. Okay, I'm going to quit looking at the game. But anyway, so he calls me into the office. I sit down. I start talking to him. He's like, all right, Zach. He's like, so, I went and searched your locker, and I found these tools. He's like, can you explain why they were in your locker? And I said, yeah. I said, well, the reason why I had them in my locker is because, I use those tools on a daily basis. That way I know where they're at whenever I come in to actually do my fucking job. Or, do my actual work at VidTech. He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I can understand that. He's like, but the issue is, I mean, if you were doing that, then, how many other people were doing it and taking it by your lead. I said to him, I was like, I said we've been issued tools like this for the past 2 years, and I said, we would keep them in our locker, we'd give them back at the end of the year. I said I'm not doing anything different than what we would be doing if Charlie was, or if Lightning was here. And it was one of those things, and it was just like me and him bickering back and forth. And it was just stupid bullshit like that where he was starting to piss me off. But, so yeah, we were going into that, and we were going into, a fight. Not a fight, but more like a thing to where it was just like, alright, whatever, man. So, at this point, he was just like, alright, well, we have the, school officer coming in, which I always called him a fucking rent-a-cop, because he was a fucking douchebag. but I always called him the school rent-a-cop, because he really, it's just like he was one of those cops that were getting ready to retire, and it was just his time to get the fuck out and quit signing shit. But so I'm sitting there thinking, and I'm like, oh fuck, now what the fuck are you charging me for? And I'm just sitting there thinking that. I'm like, all right, okay, I've been down this road before. I'm like, okay, now I'm waiting on him to come over. He comes over, and I'm just like, all right. I'm like, so what's going on, man? He's just like, well, he's like, well, so you seem to be, what the he's like, well, you seem to be in some, he said, well, he goes on, he's giving me a speech about, like, you know, me having the tools in my locker. And I said, yeah, I full out admitted it. I said, listen, I had them in my locker. It's not like I was intending to steal them. I didn't even have a lock on my locker. So it's not like I was doing anything to where I was doing anything wrong. And I said that from the get-go. I said I wasn't doing anything, you know, shady or anything with them. You know, I had them in my locker. I said the teacher knew about it. Or at least I assume he knew, because I told him that I had tools. And, you know, you could tell whenever I was working on them that they were the school tools. And he never said anything about it, so I just figured it was all right. And he goes into this big stink about it, and he's just like, well, for what you're doing, it's considered theft. I was like, what? How the fuck is this theft? And, like, that's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, now how the fuck is this theft? They did not leave the school property or anything like that. So I asked him, I was like, so, wait a second. I was like, so how is this considered theft? And then he's going on, he's like, well, theft ends up at Pennsylvania statute of theft is withholding property from any party. And so technically what I did with having tools in my locker was withholding property from my the tech class. And I was like, and whenever he told me this, I was furious. My mom was pissed, I was pissed, everyone was. It was one of those things where it's just like, are you fucking serious, motherfucker? So we go in this big argument and shit, and he's just like, I will be charging you for theft or conspiracy or whatever. He said, you'll be charged with theft, your probation officer will be notified. And it's just like, it was one of those bullshit theft charges. I didn't leave school. I didn't leave my school with the actual tools and everything like that. And it's just like, they were in my locker. I was using them every day at tech. You know, it's not like I was just holding them in there, you know, to actually, like, wait for a move to take them. No. Why the fuck would I do that? There's no reason why I would need to. I have those tools. So, I got suspended for, like, 4 days out of this. And I also got, an actual, theft charge for it. And it was one of those things where I was just like, are you fucking serious? I was like, you know, I do so goddamn good. You know, I was doing so damn good at this point in time. But I was doing so damn good at this point in time. And it was like, all right. So, you're pretty much telling me that I can go fuck myself. So, yeah, I mean, it was, alright, whatever. So, we're going, you know, I got a theft charge out of it, and it actually fucking stuck in court. Let me tell you. The PA, or Pennsylvania's fucking legal system is fucked over this. That thing actually stuck in fucking court. How? I have no fucking clue at this point. But that actually stuck in court. And I actually got charged with theft over that. So it was one of those things where it was just like, it was fucking bullshit. So, yeah. So, after me having the theft and everything like that, or after having all that shit on my record, I was just like, okay, so, okay, whatever. I'm like, anything you do now to me, I'm gonna fucking report. So try me, motherfucker. That's exactly what I did too. Anything he did, I fucking reported about. Told people about it, you know. Him following me into the bathrooms and shit. Him doing everything he did, like with telling me like, oh, I'm not gonna make you take your pants off this time. You know, blah blah fucking blah. And I told everyone. I made a written statement about it. Everything of what he's been doing for the past 2.5 years. And you would not believe the fire that started. Um, he actually got he actually stuff actually ended up happening over that. There was actually action taken over that. For what he was doing. He actually got harassment. But so what triggered this? So around like Christmas time and everything like that. I actually ended up starting to tell everyone like what's been going on and shit like that at Votech. And everyone's like, "What? This has actually been going on?" My whole probation, everyone who I was working with, like all my case managers and all that bullshit in probation, they were all fucking pissed. Like, how I was being mistreated in school. I've been mistreated in schools for all my life. Like, I never had a good school that I was in. And it's just like sooner or later the administrators would fuck with me some way. And it was normally not something that I was doing. It was because of my history that they would end up looking for any type of dirt they could find, and then they would try to make there some bullshit way to get it into it. But anyway, so at this point, I was just like, all right, cool, whatever. I'm just like, all right, so he's gonna get in trouble for the shit he's been doing, because people have been, I mean, people were wondering what was going on, why I wasn't going to school anymore, and I was also actually getting ready to drop out at this point. As much as I did not want to, I was getting sick of dealing with it. Getting sick of dealing with everyone there and getting sick of dealing with the administrators, all that bullshit. So I was getting ready to drop out. So, this point, everyone was like getting on my ass about everything. They were just like, what's going on with you? Like, you're not like this about school. And I said, and I ended up just like going like just ballistic. I was just like, you guys really want to know what's fucking going on? Here, I'll tell you what's going on. And I went into a full fucking rant about this guy. And everyone went fucking berserk. Like, I mean, I cannot tell you, like, how many people wanted to fucking just go and, like, take this guy out. Like, he actually was on administrative leave over everything, because I told him, like, he was following me into the bathroom all the time. I said, it was just, like, a continuous cycle of him fucking harassing me. And I told him everything about it. Like I said, it's been going on like this for I don't know how long. And I just thought it was, hey, this is normal. Wait, what's going on? Oh, whoops. I fucked up there. But anyway, I ended up actually doing a written statement, like 3 pages long of what this guy was doing, and it was all fucking honest. It was all honest stuff. Like him searching me and harassing me. Like he searched me within like 3 years, probably about a good 30 or 40 times of me being in that school. He profiled me for being a drug addict and for being somebody who did drugs in the past, which was true. I did do drugs. I did drink. I didn't deny that. So I was on probation. I mean, I couldn't deny that shit. But, sorry, I'm starting to lose my voice. Fuck. God damn it. But, anyway, I did a written statement about everything and what he's been doing for, like, the past 3 years. He actually got in trouble for all this stuff. He was actually told he was not allowed to have any contact with me. And to this day, I mean, he really hasn't. I mean, he's passed me in the hall, but that's about it. He hasn't talked to me, like, even with stuff that I had to do, or even stuff I was doing where I was helping out school, he would end up telling somebody else to give me orders. Like, he didn't want anything to do with me. Thank God. Because I ended up developing a hatred for this guy. And I actually, like, I was so fed up with shit with this guy. Like, I'm one of those people who, I love my academics. I love going into school. I love learning. But he made that stuff just a living fucking hell for me. Like, he contributed to, like, my thing to where I just did not want to go to school, and I just hated school. Which actually happened throughout kindergarten and stuff, too. I was really mistreated because of, like, my autism and stuff. And schools just didn't know how to react to that back in that time, and all that shit. But, I mean, in kindergarten, I mean, I had my hand slammed in doors and shit, and I had, like, a whole bunch of shit go on. They tried to actually administrate me into the fucking meadows whenever I was 5 years old. Because I was, like, one of those kids who bounced off the walls, literally. So, yeah, it was one of those things. So, I was, like, I guess apparently I was a menace to society and shit because I had autism. Yeah, that's funny, isn't it? God damn it. Sorry guys. But yeah. That's really like the story about my school administrator. And all the fucked up shit he did. But, yeah. So, anyway, guys, I'm sorry. I don't know what was going on with POR. I had to go to banish around the end of the live stream. Like I said, I don't know what was going on and everything like that. I'm actually going to end it here because I'm starting to lose my voice. And if I keep going, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm not going to have a voice. So, anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I sure did. I'm hopefully gonna be doing more storytime videos, like I did here. I don't know. I actually got the idea from watching like a lot of YouTube videos where people talk about their lives and stuff like that, and I figured, what would be a good way to start doing something to where I actually talk about stuff like that and feature games that I like how these guys do. This is not an original idea. I will admit that, personally. But I'm not gonna just do storytime videos. I may do them here and there whenever I think of something good to tell about my past and everything like that. But yeah, can't you guys tell? I sound like I'm a chain smoker with stage 4 lung cancer. Like, goddamn. It's just like I gotta keep like drinking water as I'm going through this. So, anyway, guys, I'm gonna end it here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. I know it's a late night live stream and all, but I figured I was gonna do a live stream because I just turned 18, and I figured, why not do a live stream? So, anyway, you guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, take it easy. Okay. And until next time, take it easy.